Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am Cosmic Kev, your host. This is for the weekend beginning Friday the 24th of August 2018. Now, looking at the sky today, we would see the moon in the constellation of Capricorn this morning. Getting ready though to get in the latter part of it. Getting closer to Aquarius, but not quite there yet. And I would say we're somewhere between Uttarashada and Shravana today. And so there's this heightened sensitivity. And there might be a desire in Western astrology. We would call this moon in Aquarius, and there's a willingness to socialize and to get out there more. And the moon will go into Pisces on Saturday night, and then we have this big full moon on Sunday at 4:56 a.m. So basically Saturday night will be, the night that the moon's gaining energy and reaches fullness, about an hour or two before morning. So that's going to be quite huge. Okay, so now the sun is in Virgo. Mercury's direct. Yay! We've got Venus in Libra, Jupiter in Scorpio, Mars in Capricorn, retrograding, but that's going to change. Yes, Mars retrograde is going to be over Monday at 7:05 in the morning. So Monday 7:05, all systems are go. all systems are moving, and there's really not too much else to report other than this is another big fat full moon. And I think a lot of us are just looking forward to cooler weather, not to be as, it could still be super hot in late August, early September, for anybody who's 45 degrees north latitude or further south on the northern side of the hemisphere. It's coming. We can't say we're safe. Even places north of that, who knows? The whole planet's getting heat. Speaking of heat, let's start with Aries, and we're just going to dive right into your horoscope here. So, this is a social weekend for you. Since the full moon is like in the later degrees, early degrees of Pisces. In the Vedic, it's the nakshatra Shatabhishak, so there's this kind of like thing about being contained. And there's that Rahu, that windy kind of rulership. So, I think just keeping everything kind of calm, in your social situations, and try to make good karma. Sometimes people have a little too much something on a full moon night. Okay. Well, greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. So we've got this whole thing with, Venus is in your 6th house, working on your health, having better service for other people. Working on gracious self-improvement in the way we interact with others is largely what Venus in Libra is about. And so on the other end of your 7th house, Jupiter's there, so there is a certain amount of good fortune in your relationship as it moves direct. And Mars is in the 9th house, getting ready to go back in the 10th house. So it's like, what career move are you going to make next? What's going to bring you ultimate success? And power is a weird thing. When I look at Saturn, Pluto, and Mars together, I just always go, wow. You know, that just looks like some kind of explosion or something, you know. But, you know, Saturn can kind of rein things in, like with discipline, and actually bring a good touch. And Pluto brings a lot of insights. So if you're like focusing on, hey, I need some insights, and Mars can also be good at getting rid of evil. Hey, you know, if you're not going to play nice, you can't come to my party. No, we're not there yet, but we will be. Let's see, okay. And we've got Mercury moving out, you know, in the North Node, both in your third house. So there's stuff to talk about, you know, and you're making up for what you missed out on Mercury retrograde. And so Virgo squares your sun, but it's Mercury ruled, so there's like some certain type of commonality. And, you know, the other mutable signs, Sagittarius and Pisces, you know, you share something with them too. Well, Virgo, it's different because it's like different elements, you know. It's like you're more interested in anything, everything, and Virgo's more like, oh, specific nerd-like interest in this one subject that's just driving me nuts. Well, don't worry, Gemini. I mean, Virgos drive themselves nuts, so it's like, it's okay. It's a dance of equals. Your creative energy's flowing nicely. Moon in Aquarius suits you well for right now. The full moon could put you in the public more. And, you know, if there's any public woo-woo, you'll probably see it. Hopefully you're not involved with it. Well, hello, Cancer. So nice to have you back. And I love what you're doing this week, you know. You're being a better neighbor. You're being a better sibling. You're being a better friend. You're working with your hands. You're getting some kind of satisfaction from working with your hands and communicating, people you knew from school, and playing music, writing, poetry. All of this fits in. Even sort of like a underground beatnik veneer. It could be there. Jupiter in Scorpio helps bring things up. I mean, the full moon might motivate you to travel this weekend. I could see that happening. But it gets really intense before it hits, you know. So, you know, I think this is like a good time to just kind of lay low and just keep as chilled out as possible. Alright. Okay, so, greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. Man, there's so much to say, but you know, the pressure's off. It's not Leo time in the tropical zodiac sense. It's, you know, it's Virgo time now, and so things are kind of chilling just a little bit, and we're coming more into balance, and we're taking note of what's valuable, and that's a good thing for you to do right now. It's like, what do I value? Who do I value? I value my family. I value my voice, because second house rules the neck, and assets, and my teeth, you know, how to take care of all those things. And so, you know, you have a beautiful way of communicating and being creative and working with your hands right now. You might have to deal, like I said last week, with health issues. It's kind of a romantic moon. It could really deepen and intensify. In the love realm, that's probably way too much information. Although, like, no, bring it more. Like, well, greetings, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. So, all right. Well, I mean, the full moon's opposite you, especially if you're like an August-born Virgo. You know, so ones who are having birthdays this week. Oh my gosh, you know, this is a big full moon lunar opposition. You know, it's kind of like Pisces is like faith and Virgo is like science. But it's important to have room for both, because Albert Einstein was famous Pisces, and he really said imagination was more important than logic. And especially like when it's coming up to ideas, so kind of like letting your own self be more visionary. One of my friends suggested I do this, which I need to do, or maybe I don't, maybe I've done it already, is create a vision board for myself. That's like a really nice thing to do for yourself, because you're kind of consciously putting elements of what you want to create. And when we're being creative or being more like the creator, we're more in alignment, things do get better. And that is the positive. And you have things that are of real value right now. Venus in the second house, Virgo. It's like, you love your family, you're sharing good, you have a good relationship with your siblings right now. I mean, and if you've had problems in the past, this is when you can heal them up. This is where the gift is. And you know, when I see it like Saturn, Mars, okay, and Pluto all in the fifth house, it's like, well, it's explosive creativity, and there's just this feeling of, being patient even though you're anxious, so there's a little bit of stop and go. It's like, oh, I got to do something. No, better be patient, Saturn, so it made me think mostly Saturn, Mars, and Pluto's way out there looking, kind of going, well, there's some changes going on in this area of your life, willing to take note of it. Well, hello, Libra, and welcome to your horoscope. Isn't it super cool when Venus transits your first house? Come on. You gotta love it. It makes you look better. It brings out, I guess some kind of nurturing quality to love that you're experiencing, and you're able to focus a little more. Like Venus is getting closer. And it's actually going to be in the actual constellation of Libra when it goes retrograde in a few more weeks. And it could be a really interesting dance, especially if you're like a later born Libra. It's going to go retrograde in Scorpio in the tropical zodiac, but in the sky it's in sidereal or Vedic Libra. It'll be interesting. So Venus stuff right now, for most of you it's in your first house. So most of you you're getting, or near your sun. So you're kind of getting graced. It's like you're eating Venus. My soul is consuming Venus, and yum yum, get that good Venus nutrition. That's what happens with the sun. And you're in a place where you really can't get out of a lot of obligations. This is not the freest moment in your life. So you're dealing with karma. Virgo's your karma, Libra. So do good things with it. Okay. Greetings, Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope. So this is where Scorpio people become more social. This is where your good friends show up. And man, you need some good friends right now. So this is a good thing. Jupiter moving direct. Now for getting into the latter 15 degrees of Scorpio. It's making this pass, and it's like, well, we're moving, into more spiritual depth, and we're taking it through the triumphant gateway to where the lotus blooms. Ooh, I like it. And we're able to look at relationships now in a very different way. It's like, well, why should I just accept somebody just by conventional beauty standards or whatever? This person could be solid. They could be inspiring. They might be sensual. They might blow my mind. And so I see this kind of more experimental attitude with relationships. Well, you're visionary with a lot of love in your heart. You really have this vision to create more beauty, regard your children in a spiritual way, to give them some sort of sense of autonomy. And Venus is in the 12th house, so you feel like you're kind of afflicted with karma from love, or maybe past love experience, or maybe in a great relationship, and it's just like, delicious pleasures of the bed. I certainly hope for the latter. But I know it's not true for all of us, and that there is, pain to recognize too. And I say take care of your vehicle, have it looked over before taking any trips, and rock on, just rock on and be Scorpio. Your social life is blooming. Okay, here we go. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. Alright, so, Jupiter's been in the 12th house, and so there's kind of this sense of honoring karma, honoring kind of the monastic side of yourself that wants to isolate and just kind of get away from it all. Maybe not see so many people that know you or because you have to deal with some stuff is really good and it's really rewarding. It's like getting to know yourself, because you're going to get birthed forth, I guess, in November when Jupiter goes into the tropical zodiac Sagittarius. So I heard the Leo King say that Jupiter's coming home, baby. I just love this enthusiasm about it. I thought, okay, that was like a nice enthusiastic gesture and impression in it. But yeah, so you're still working on your inner life, and there's a lot of financial ups and downs. I think most things is just hold tight. If you need something to get fixed, well, you got to get it fixed. That's going to be the truth. And this weekend it looks like it's fun to socialize, be in the neighborhood. It seems like you might be best off at home during the full moon. It might feel more comfortable, and just take care of health things that aren't working out, and realize this is where you kind of work and people see your abilities and stuff. They see you as able to accomplish things. Okay. Greetings, Capricorn, and welcome to your horoscope. So, you've been through so much stuff, and I think you deserve some kind of reprieve, and I think now that the Sun is in Virgo, there's going to be some reprieve, because the Sun's going to eventually be throwing some really nice aspects to Saturn and eventually Pluto and Mars even, and so a lot of stuff that you've confronted and it's hurt, and sometimes you just wonder how you get up and face another day. It's like, don't worry, it is getting better. I think this full moon could just like bring about resources in your neighborhood and among siblings and friends. Like, hey, and it's sometimes hard, to break that shadow Bishak barrier. But they know a lot about healing, almost hard to impossible things. So there's some kind of medicine. There's a desire. It's a windy sometimes. There's like this whole thing where this is a good weekend for you to make money. You're going to find people to be more impulsive this weekend. Interesting. And there's also this sort of desire to travel. Like, this is a good time for you to travel. And so making connections is going to be good. And I would say all in all, you're going to have a good time, and you're going to thrive, and that's what we want to see. Okay. Well, hello, Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope. So, there's this ability, since the moon's in your first house for most of Friday, all Friday, and most of Saturday, so you're going to be like kind of popular, and people want to talk to you. And just even I think to myself, Mercury ruling Virgo and Gemini, but it's exalted in Aquarius. It's like you're of that kind of headspace that can share in mercurial ideas, because you're a thinker. And relationships have been really, the primary thing you're working on, and now you realize, like, hey, let other people have their power. Let them do their thing. I don't have to engage. I don't have to feel less than confident. Some of you who may have been lonely might have met somebody far away, and you're going to meet them for a romantic weekend. And some of you, it's like, just learn to bring happiness. Learn to bring the joy publicly. And there's a lot of crazy stuff in your karma department right now. It seems like it could be like a Pandora's box of sorts. But spiritual discipline and prayer, you're gonna, with Saturn, Pluto, and Mars, you're gonna make headway looking at it that way. And then finally, Pisces. Virgo's your opposite sign. So this is a time to focus on the sacred marriage, whatever that means to you. There are so many ways to go. And, but you're bringing a certain sense of harmony. You're also putting on a really amazing social act, and it seems like a dangerous social life in a way. I mean, especially with like Uranus in the third house and all these planets in the 11th house. Just like, wow. I mean, there's some good that can come out of this, though. But it's it's heavy power stuff, and you're trying to make your health better, and you're ready for adventure. You're ready for love. You're ready for adventure. I think that's as good of and you've got the full moon. Duh. Saturday night. It's all about you, especially if you're born, between the 19th and the 27th of February. Those Pisces, whoa. Okay. You heard that? Yeah. All right. We'll do this again next week. Same channels. Same Planetary Persuader. Thanks for your comments. I appreciate you. You are so important. I want your life to be good. And look forward to hearing from you.